Oh man, you should not have a drink right before the intro. Hey,
what
welcome
are you
in.
doing?
I was mid-swallow. Hey, everybody, welcome. This is LoreForged, the podcast for Ashes of Creation. Welcome to everyone who's here live at Twitch. We're on Twitch for LoreForged Live. Appreciate all of you. And we are your hosts. My name is Take a Drink and Introduce the Show, Jibs. And I'm joined by Sunny Ravencourt.
I feel like you should know better than that.
I should know better. I thought I was quicker.
Really?
You're not
How
wrong.
many years have we been doing this?
I have no excuse. I thought I could swallow faster than I could. So there's that.
Cash is showing admirable restraint in all of this. Good job. Good job, Cash.
This is driving me insane. I have so many jokes.
And from SoCal, Cash is here.
Hey, everybody. It's good to be here. I'm just going to talk about my week. I've had a fantastic week. It's been very busy.
Yeah.
I worked on Memorial Day, but yeah, it's okay. It's no problem. But a couple things. First thing was I was on Vladis's 1v1 podcast this past week, and he put it out. And
Yeah.
I have to say, I don't think I've had like a better one-on-one conversation with another podcaster ever. He was fantastic, like such a gracious host, and he's just such a good guy. But we had the most organic conversation about everything from aliens to Ashes of Creation to AI. Like we were talking voice acting and just all kinds of stuff. So it was a great show. We had a really, really good time. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, if you're in the chat, then you probably are interested in that kind of thing. It's a really good one to listen to.
You think they came here for alien voice acting?
Probably not, but they might have come here for alien conspiracy theories, which might not be so conspiracy.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. Does that have to be another debate? You're such a scientist, Sonny.
You know,
Such a scientist.
if we ever sit down.
Seriously, I just want to interrupt. I want to say that I listened to that show. That was great. You guys truly did have a great conversation. I think that that's one of the things that Vladis does well is just has a good conversation. And so it was fun. You guys talked a lot of Ashes, and you talked a lot of things that are not Ashes. And so it was just fun to listen to you talk to people other than us. You know, when you have friends that are doing something like this for as long as we've done it, you understand each other very well. And so to surprise each other becomes increasingly difficult over the years. And when you get dumped onto a show with another person that is good at what they do and you don't know all of the things that are coming, then it yields very good conversations. And that's exactly what I saw there.
Yeah, I think the cool thing about Vladis is that Vladis is a study. He is a study of other podcasts for sure. Like he pays attention. He looks at the greats that are out there and listens to them, and he learns a lot of his. You can't really call it an interview because it wasn't. And when you can take something that is essentially an interview and turn it into a conversational format, it's pretty impressive. So it's just all the back work he does on getting better at his craft. He's succeeding. He's doing very, very well. I do have one more story to tell. Can I tell one story?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why are you
cool.
asking? Yeah, just go for it.
I don't know, because I'm looking at my dad.
Did you raise your hand?
Do you need a
It's like
permission?
I'm looking at Dad.
Who's dad?
You.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you
it's
think?
you.
I'm not supposed to raise my voice on this show. I've been prompted and coached.
No.
So, you, Dad. I learned it from watching you.
No, it's the opposite. You do the opposite. When we do a mic check and you're like, this is the voice that I'll probably
Yeah,
be
like, what
talking
the
in.
heck,
It's
man?
like, no, it isn't.
Sound checks, friends. Sound checks. They are great fun. We should probably live record a sound check one of these days. Okay. I have a really funny story. It's fantastic. It's short. So today I was driving. I was on the road. I was driving, and I wanted to touch bases with Sunny. I have for the past couple of days. So I finally was able to get a hold of him today for a brief moment. But the reason it was such a brief moment is that I called him and he immediately hits the FaceTime button. I was like, okay, I guess we're doing this. So I'm SoCal driving, right? Doing the thing. And I'm like, oh, he wants to FaceTime. So I hit FaceTime and I'm doing this now. Sunny FaceTimes me from the top of a multiple story tower just before he's going over the edge doing some rappelling training. It was hilarious. I was like, what are you doing? Dude, I don't have time to talk. I'm just about to go over the edge. And I was like, then why did you answer the phone, bro? I was like, make sure your safety's on and just do your thing. Call me later. It was epic. When as soon as I got off the phone, I was like, why did I not snap a picture of that? That was just an epic fail on my part. But thank you for thinking that I have that amount of importance in your life that just before you're about to do something death-defying.
I should have said something like, did anyone check the belay? Anyone? Like, and just ask her. Let's just go.
Oh my God. Yeah. Measure twice, fall once, right?
Oh, so it was funny because my training officer was next to me and he goes, who the hell was that? I was like, oh, it's a friend of mine. It's a podcaster friend of mine. It's like, the dude was wearing bugles on his collar. It's like, oh yeah, he's also a firefighter. So it was just kind of one of those things where I was like, I'm answering this. We're about ready to do this. I'm answering. I got the helmet on and the glasses, the whole deal.
Well, you made my day.
Harness.
So thanks for answering the phone. That was funnier than hell.
It's like Barnum getting ready to make entry into a home. Oh, hey, I'm getting a FaceTime. Let me just answer this phone real quick.
Healthy.
Oh man, that's awesome. Gosh, that's awesome. Well, everybody, again, welcome. Everyone at Twitch, we appreciate you all. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. This is episode 42 of the show, and tonight, gentlemen, it's a night of nights. So I want to preface this, everyone who's listening, before we get started. Now, because of the time we had to record, we are 2 days shy of the Node War update. So that's going to be next week. So you can look forward to that. And honestly, that gives good discussion and things that we can watch the people react to in our Discord and the community as a whole. So that'll be fun. But anyway, that'll be next week. So Node Wars is next week's episode 43. This week on the show, though, it is the debate of debates. We talked about it, I want to say, what guys, 3-4 episodes ago at least. It became a hot topic late in the episode on cash shops, and it was such a hot topic, we knew we had to do an episode for it, and we just didn't know when. And so today, whenever you're listening, is that day. So,
Hey.
yeah.
Before we do that, though, did we talk about the guild?
Oh, gosh, I'm so glad you said that.
Yes.
Someone take it.
It's in the notes, dude.
We do have show notes. You write them.
Again, I thought I could swallow faster.
Okay. Cash.
Can we not?
Are we not doing phrasing anymore? And
You let me talk.
Brand management.
Comment like that.
Brand management.
Bleep, 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 and I'm just gonna be smiling, talking.
Okay. The guild.
Someone
tell me, double check. We're going to triple check this.
Yeah.
The date of the guild reveal.
I'll look right now.
We're going to absolutely get this right. I want somebody to be looking at the calendar when they say it.
Doing it live. It is 8 p.m. EST, June 14th is the guild reveal event.
We're going to write it in here. I'm typing it into the chat. June 14, 8 EST.
Yeah. Wow, you really are.
So we
typing right.
released I'm sorry. It's hard to type and talk and look at a camera. This is why newscasters don't write their news as they're saying it. So we had a guild reveal teaser for the guild, and that video, despite it being just the teaser, has actually, like a lot of people have watched this little video and they are excited about it, and we are very excited about it. We have a whole thing ready for you that evening to talk about the guild and reveal our plans, and it is something that we have obviously been working on for a very long time, because we keep saying that we've been working on this for a very long time. So inherently that means that it has been a long time. And we're very excited, but now we have an official date. We launched the teaser trailer, so now we're stuck with it, right? So it is June 14, 8 EST. We're going to do it live on Twitch. We'll do it just like a show, and as a matter of fact, that will be the show for the week, because we are very, very excited about this. So it is a thing. It is happening. It is set in stone. Get ready for it.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. And for those who are watching or listening, that's why there hasn't been, just so you know, full transparency. We've really been focusing our work on this. So there hasn't been like a video coming out every week or every 2 weeks. It's kind of, it seems like it's been here, maybe there. But as that wraps up, you can expect us to get back in full swing. In fact, I just got my script done on the next lore video. So it's going to be a good time.
And I'm also working on mine this weekend.
Yeah,
Should
boy.
be a fun one.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, I say this often because I think it's because I don't know where we're going to go with it. So I'll just say it again. I don't know how to start this. So I'm just going to start it. Gentlemen, we had a conversation one time about whether or not there should be, it started with, should there be emotes in a cash shop? And then it moved into, should there be a cash shop in Ashes of Creation? Then it moved into, I hate you both. My name is Cash and I'm leaving the show. Then it turned into, write it down, Jibs, make it plain so we can do this on an episode. So here we are.
You were 66.6% correct on that. First of all,
I noticed 3 6s there. Please continue.
No. There's a
It's
decimal.
repeating, of course.
It's repeating.
Repeating, of course. You were 2/3 correct on that. No, first of all, I'm sorry, you guys. You're stuck with me. I ain't going anywhere. I'm here. So, I think the thing is, and the reason why this discussion is going to be so difficult for us is because we don't disagree very often. It's pretty rare that we find something that we disagree on. Actually, I should say it's pretty rare that we find something that you guys are both wrong on.
I disagree.
Okay. Perfect. I'm very excited about getting into this conversation because I think that everybody has some valid points on this, and we are not the only ones that are split on this. I think the community, in a lot of ways, is split on this. So I think before we do anything, we should lay out not ground rules because there's no rules. Gloves are off tonight. What we should lay out though is what the current status of development for this cash shop is, like what the actual facts of what is proposed to be in Ashes of Creation.
Yes, I love this idea. Let's set a baseline for this thing. This is what we know will actually at this time. This is what we know of a cash shop in Ashes of Creation.
Correct. Jibs, you want to hit this one?
Probably helps if I unmute my mic. I am
You are a professional.
Oh my God.
I know. Gosh, can you just hit the button? Just do me a favor. Thank you.
You are a professional. You are doing it wrong.
How long have we been doing this? Like,
You're having a rough night.
I tell you what, my goodness. It's, what is this, 13 years now? I don't know. It's stupid. It's stupid. All right. So you want me to read these notes here?
Yeah, you can hit them, and I'll kind of fill in the blanks if I think something's missed.
All right. So this is from Nomad. Wait, is this under Sonny's notes section here?
No. You're Cash, can you please just take care of this? JB's on the struggle bus.
Have another sip of your crappy beer, bro. Okay.
Carry on.
So here are some general facts regarding the cash shop as it stands now. The items that are going to be in the cash shop are going to be limited time, limited quantity, which we've already seen with the pre-order packs and the skins that were in the cash shop. And I think in a large degree, and it actually states in the wiki that this is done. These are done to help to sustain the game development. So it helps them bring a little bit of extra income in, and there's people out there that are interested in it. So the cosmetics are all going to be equitable with things that you can earn in the game. Okay. So which means things that are equally cool. Now it's kind of a relative term because one person's going to think that something's cool and then the other thing isn't cool, but that is the general design, that these cosmetics that are found in the shop are equitable with things that you can earn in the game. Now there are such things called legendary skins, and they are much more elaborate and better looking than things that are achievable or that are buyable in the shop. These are items, the legendary items are items that are achievable in the game only, but will never be in the cosmetic shop. This can't be understated more. Nothing will be pay to win or give any advantage to any player that is available in the cash shop. Costume and pet cosmetics do not have a level restriction, so you can use them at any time at any level. And cosmetics, this is the big one. Cosmetics are not tradable. And I like this. I like this greatly because this eliminates people from buying things in the shop with real money and then cashing them in for gold within the game. So those are the main items when it comes to the current cash shop.
Just for a point of clarification on that first one, you said that they are comparable, that cosmetics will be comparable with things that you can get in the game, or they will be exactly the same as things you'll be able to get in the game?
From how I understood it through reading the wiki, comparable. So I don't know, for lack of a better term, just as cool. So maybe different color schemes, maybe different dyes that are on similar costumes.
Got it.
Okay. And I think with that, we can start the conversation.
Ring the bell.
I have an air horn. Does that count? Should Ashes of Creation have a cash shop? I'll start. How about that? I'll just start and then someone can do a rebuttal, whatever.
JB, should Ashes of Creation have a cash shop at all?
No. I'll see myself out. No.
Go on.
Wrong.
Would you like to elaborate?
Okay. Let me rephrase this. So there's a few things I have on this. And so I was driving today to a hospital. I do a lot of that for my job. And as I was driving, I was thinking, okay, let's take out all the things I've ever seen another MMO do. All the promises we've ever seen from another development team. All the amazing, hype-related news posts about what's coming to a game in the shop and all these things, and then it turns out being what it was. Let's take all that out. Let's take this as, okay, if I was running Intrepid Studios, if I knew I had to make Intrepid Studios, I had to get them in the green somehow, some way, what would I do? If I was going to do a cash shop, what would I do? Before I do that, the first thing I would look at, truthfully, honestly, is this. And again, this is, look, I'm just a fan. I am. We are just fans. We're just here to talk. So take everything I'm about to say with a grain of salt. First thing I will look at is the subscription fee. So everything I'm saying right now is backing up my thing. First, no. However, I have a point. I want to get to at the end. I look at the subscription fee. Okay. Did you know in 2004 when World of Warcraft launched and it was $15 a month, 4 years later, Netflix was $9 a month for full streaming service. $9. That's how it started. Now I pay, full transparency, $15.49 a month. That's a $6.49 increase over a 15-year period. That is a 72% markup over 15 years, roughly. MMOs still pay $15 a month. Of all the things that never moved, that we've seen games go up to $70, we're still seeing a $15 mark. First thing I would do is raise that $5 to make that a $20 a month thing to do. Help alleviate that extra $5. That'd help everybody out. Now, if I could, truthfully, that's where I would stop. I would not put a cash shop in. However, if I was going to do a cash shop, it would have to be something that I know would be a limited time of availability and would never, ever, ever come again. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Which actually appears to be Steven's plan. Now, this came to us from Steven Sharif, PAX livestream Q&A, April 8th, 2018. He says, quote, I want to incentivize purchase in the cosmetic shop for sustainability of what expansions we have intended, since we are not a box cost. See, that's another thing to talk about. They're not charging for expansions. We need to talk about that sometime. I want to incentivize purchase by offering limited items, limited time, limited quantity, so you have confidence that when you purchase them, they won't be offered later on in some other way, end quote. So I want to say this. I don't want it. However, if I was going to do it, that would be the way that I would do it. Because if I was going to do it that way, I feel like that'd be the only way to honor the player's purchase. And I'm going to be honest with you, the reason why I always say no to this is because no matter what, and now I'm getting ready to end my point, whoever wants to jump in, go for it. It has never, ever failed that no matter what, game development for an MMO, at some point when there is a cash shop, it takes a turn. And it becomes this thing where every month, or the following month, or the following year, maybe it's the Christmas season, and they did something last Christmas and it was amazing. Well, now they got to up it. It always takes a turn, and they find themselves outdoing the previous thing. And so ultimately what happens is it just gets more outlandish. The cosmetics get more crazy. Now I've got a 6-armed unicorn with 7 horns, and it's got saddlebags, a recliner chair, and a beer ready for me everywhere I go. You know, like, it's just crazy. And so
yeah, you have 10 different colors of the same Indrik.
Oh, don't get me started on that Indrik. That was
I'll finish that one off.
That was a thing and a half right there, buddy. But you know, overall, that's why I'm hesitant. And I'll go more later and talk about trust with Intrepid and whatnot, because I really do. I genuinely trust them. They've shown they're very genuine, I feel. But yeah, that's where my head's at. That's my piece. Sonny, what do you think?
We're going to go to cash on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is probably a good idea to come to me next, because it'll give Sonny to formulate his thoughts so that he can crush my soul here in about 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And the question again is, should Ashes of Creation have a cash shop? So I will preface it by saying this: they already are going to have a cash shop. I've already bought several cosmetics from the pre-order packs, and I love them. I love them so bad, but I do think they should have a cash shop. And the reason being is because you have the option to purchase this stuff. I think every question that I would have had about a cash shop being a thing in Ashes of Creation has already been remedied or answered. And those things are no pay to win. Definitely going to be no pay to win. Steven hates it, and so does most of the gaming population. The items are equitable with things that you can earn in game. So you can still earn something in game that looks very, very similar without having to pay for it. And the third one is more of a personal thing. I am a massive fan of supporting the games, the development of the game, the future development of the game that I'm playing. If you have the choice to not buy these items, that is a win, because they're there if you want. You don't have to touch the cash shop if you don't want to. What I do not want to see is, and this might jump into one of our other questions, but what I do not want to see is things in that cash shop that are predatory in nature, that might not be pay to win or on the fence, but you kind of fall into the pitfall of having to purchase them if you want to be effective. And Jibs, I know exactly why you're nodding. You know what I'm talking about. Anybody who's played ESO knows. Now, granted, that's a free-to-play game. There is no sub. But if you want to play that game and be effective at that game, you have to sub. And the reason for subbing, for that optional sub, is because you get the endless bag space. If you don't get the endless bag space in Elder Scrolls Online, if you've ever played an Elder Scrolls Online ever, then you know that nearly everything is lootable. There's so many things to loot in that game, and so many different things that you need, because you can max out every profession if you want in that game. And most serious players do. That is insanely predatory when you ask me. The way that Star Wars The Old Republic does their cash shop. Super predatory. If you have a stronghold, you have to pay to open the doors to the next room on your stronghold. Otherwise, they're infinitely locked. Super predatory. I'm not a fan of that. But when you have things in a game that are available in the cash shop, also available in the game, I want to be the guy that buys the cool set that I can wear at level 1 if I wanted from the cash shop, and then can also earn another version of that skin in the game. It gives me more transmog. It gives me more ability to customize my character. And at the same time, I can support the game. Now, the other thing that I will say, and again, this probably goes into one of our other questions, but I don't want to see exorbitant. Is that a word? Exorbitant?
Exorbitant.
I don't want to see high prices.
Exorbitant.
Exorbitant. Thank you very much, Mr. Thesaurus. You're correct. I don't want to see crazy prices for said things, which was another massive fail that I think Elder Scrolls Online did. And there's other cash shops out there really expensive too. But yeah, to wrap up that part of the question, just to cut it short, I absolutely believe Ashes of Creation should have a cash shop.
That is certainly a take. I would say that we are going to ask specifically about other games, and I know that you guys both restrained yourselves tremendously on doing too much comparison to other games. That will be the next section on this thing, and so I'm going to try to do the same. The ultimate question of whether or not it should have a cash shop is quite a difficult question. And I went into our forums and I looked on our Discord because there was a lot of people that had arguments about these sort of things. And some of the responses were quite philosophical. I was impressed with the level of thought that our community put into this question. And this was not something that we said, hey, we want to hear a deep conversation about this. This just spawned organically within our Discord. And that was very impressive. And it's kind of why we did this show, because it just sort of went off. But Koala had a fantastic comment. And he said, this is kind of an argument that depends if someone is intrinsically motivated or extrinsically motivated. If someone can get enjoyment out of just the action alone, or whether or not the enjoyment comes from the reward. So it can be very personal for the player as to whether or not a cash shop should be in a game. On the other side of the coin is what Cash said, which was about supporting the developer. He wants to support the developer in this way. And I think that the problem that I have with that statement is that implies that this is the only or the best way to support the developer, which I fundamentally disagree with. I think that a cash shop is effective as far as generating money. We have seen this over and over. There is a series of games that have kept their hearts ticking, such as SWTOR, with a garbage cash shop. They are very good at that. ESO, I am sure, kept the doors open with a cash shop. Whether or not that is something that we are looking for as players is, to me, an entirely different question. Because of the effectiveness of it, it will always be a viable option for a developer. However, I'm going to say, to start, I do not want a cash shop at all. Now, I understand we're going to get a cash shop, okay? Like, I get it. But if you asked me the question, should Ashes of Creation have a cash shop? I'm going to say flat no to start this thing. I think that they are able to generate the revenue that they need through a variety of other ways. I understand that the pre-order packs are functionally a cash shop, okay? You are buying a subscription to the game, but you are also buying cosmetics for sale. We already have a cash shop before the game has come out, and look at how effective it is. So I get it, all right? But I would say no. I don't want to see it. I don't want to purchase anything from it. I don't like the concept of it. I would, as JB said, absolutely increase the subscription fee from $15 from a 2004 number. That's crazy pants. You can't have anything in this world for what you paid for it in 2004. I dare you to give me a decent list of things that I can go out and get at the same price that I could in 2004. It just doesn't exist like that anymore. Someone will come up with a good one, but it's certainly not video games except for the sub fee on Warcraft for some godforsaken reason. There is, and you know why it might be, is because Warcraft has a cash shop, because they implemented a cash shop after that. There is things, and this is the last thing I will say, there's things that I will accept in lieu of a cash shop though. And the one thing that I will just drop out there for you guys to mull over is the ability to purchase subscription time through the token system like Warcraft has. And that, you may consider that to be a cash shop, but it is not cosmetic. It's nothing like that. It is functionally a secondary currency that can reduce the impact that gold sellers have on the game. So that is where I will draw the line. You give me that, you give me the token thing with the moving stock price on it and everything, I'll be fine with that. But I don't want a cash shop. Cash, yes.
Yeah, I have a very poignant question for you in regards to the WoW token theory. Don't you think that messes with the economy?
It does. It does. But it functionally serves a purpose that is greater. And the purpose that is greater is that it eliminates the gold buying problem, the gold farmers. And I don't mind that, but I understand that this is like, as soon as you open this door, as soon as you do even something like this, now you have people buying gold in the game, and now they are functionally paying to win, right? This is my biggest problem with this whole thing. And I went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth all over the time on this. You have an argument at any point with any item in a cash shop, at any point, to call it pay to win. It's just a level of it, right? It's just a level of pay to win. From the littlest thing all the way to the biggest thing. Someone in the chat is going to hate the fact that I said that you could purchase gold tokens. But the downside of the gold farmers is massive, right? That just can ruin games when you have that influx in there and people are doing that. At least this way, it's like a more regulated type of market thing. And that is something that is a hard pill for me to swallow. And I understand as soon as you put it in, someone's going to say pay to win. You can make that argument for everything. So that's where I'm going to leave it to just start. I don't like it. If you told me, it's like, yeah, I agree with you and we're not going to put in the gold tokens, I'm like, okay, well, I hope you have a strategy for the gold farmers, but other than that, I'm going to let it go.
I can't stand the gold tokens at all. And I get exactly why they'd have it from a
Explain them real quick. For those folks who might not know how they work.
Sure. So the gold token concept is this. There is a monetary value that you can acquire said money by spending $20 in the Warcraft WoW shop, or the shop, in-game shop, okay? Yesterday, that amount of money was $311,000. Or 311,000 gold. So you can, for $20, buy that. And what that does is, like Sonny was saying, it negates a lot of the gold buying and selling that you see on third-party websites. Excellent for that. It really is excellent for that. There is something, and Sonny, you are much more of an econ guy than I am, so I don't feel as though I have the right verbiage for it. Whenever you have something like that, in a cash shop in itself, and I don't want to jump too far from the initial concept or the subject matter, but there's just something about when that's not in there, that genuine feel that you acquire from an economy. When there's no token, there's nothing to that effect. It's nothing but buying and selling. And you have those, like, you feel like you can get a handle on the market, like in certain specific areas, not as a whole, but it could be like maybe you want to sell apples. All right, cool. Well, you know exactly what that market tends to go through, the dips, the highs, the lows, because you work that market all the time. And it just feels like the moment you inject a token like that on a shop, it just inflates everything, and it just, and so from my standpoint, like, no, I don't want a cash shop, and no, I don't necessarily want a gold token. If that makes sense. Like, I don't know where your head's at with that when it comes to related to economies and markets, but
I completely understand, and I think that there's a conversation here about whether or not the tokens for sub time would be something that you could do. Like, for example,
I forgot about that. Yeah.
let's say that the tokens were only available to be used for sub time, that you couldn't cash in a token, for example, right? You had to buy, I don't know, you're buying sub time with your in-game currency. Could be a one-way transaction on something like that. And that is certainly, I think, a viable thing. I would have a hard time believing that's a pay to win argument, right? You're using your in-game currency, taking it out of the game and doing that. However, those tokens will fluctuate in time and you can invest in them. I don't think that the impact would be so great. But like you said, your personal experience of an in-game economy is altered when you have outside real money that comes in, and it taints it a little bit.
It does.
You're right. That feeling does go away a little bit when you grind something out economically. When you buy and sell and trade your way up to a certain level, and then someone comes in and goes boof and just drops a fat stack of real in-game currency they bought because they have a credit card. And that's not great. It's not. I truly do believe that. So, like if there was a way to just do it for sub time, I'd be okay with that. If the gold farming situation gets so bad that the economy is getting screwed anyways, then yeah, I'd be willing to make that sacrifice. Cash?
The thing that I would propose real quick with that is a system like Guild Wars 2 has, where you can trade your in-game currency for gems that you can use in the cash shop. Now, if there is a token that you can buy game time from with those gems, then that effectively eliminates it, right? So I would rather see a system like that, or through things that you're achieving in the game, like some type of an achievement system where it gives you some type of a separate currency that you could spend on something like a sub. I would much rather see a system like that than see a system where people can spend their real money to buy a token, and that token goes to a person for their sub time, and the person who bought it ends up getting, an amount of gold. Because you're right, it does deepen that process.
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to games that maybe there's pros, maybe there's something that, Sonny, maybe we're not seeing, and Cash, maybe you can help us out here. Or we all three, obviously, but what games did cash shops well? I'll be honest, I struggle to come up with some. I can tell you what one started well, but inevitably there always seems to be a turn where it gets more and more outlandish, more and more. In the case of, we've brought up ESO, that's a great conversation there. You talk about SWTOR, another great conversation with Warcraft. You see them adding in things that were once held behind achievements now, which we know Ashes will not be doing. Thankfully, we know that, look, there's, and this too, we know that the things in game are infinitely more, or they're more, I forget his exact verbiage on that quote for that cosmetic shop page on the wiki, which, by the way, that's a lot of the show prep we did for this episode was from that wiki page. It's excellent. But one thing that Steven said was, the things you earn in game are going to be more intricate looking. They're going to be more vibrant. I forget the exact verbiage, but, so they'll never fully compete with the cash shop. But I don't know games that have done it well.
Which game were you using as an example of one that started well, though, that changed?
To be honest, and this is just from, okay, I'm going to recall two. And the second one I like less because of the prices, right? You can start a cash shop, but if you're going to do it, the prices have to be look, let's not be predatory with our prices. Let's make sure it's not stupid, for a lack of a more professional word. First game I thought that came out that started well. I can't believe I'm using this. I didn't like the price point. New World. I thought when it first started, it was not impressive. Let me say this. It was not impressive. And the things were expensive. Okay? However, granted, that game you paid $40. It was a 40 and done. And, $40 and you're done, right? So I kind of understand, the price point, but I feel like that's probably started well. It feels kind of gross saying. And then secondly, I'm going to say probably Warcraft started well. At the onset, when they first started venturing out of the server transfers, out of the race transfers, those changes, those things. I feel like at the onset it was better. SWTOR wasn't too bad at the beginning. But yeah, so those are the ones I think that initially pop in my head.
SWTOR went free to play though.
When
they went free to play, they completely revamped their cash shop, and that's when it became predatory.
That's true.
Changed their whole business model.
Yeah, they did that a year after it launched. Isn't that crazy? 1 year.
Yeah. That was a massive flip.
That was insane.
That was a rough time for us.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Yeah.
Cash, let me ask you the question. Like, what kind of games come to mind when you think of cash shops, good and bad?
Well, I think there's aspects of a couple of cash shops that, like Jibs was saying, were good for a time. So it's funny enough to say, Elder Scrolls Online had some aspects of their cash shop that were good. The biggest thing that I hate about that was the predatory pitfall, where if you didn't sub, which essentially is part of that cash shop because you were buying your sub, you did not have a large inventory. So that is a part that I just absolutely hated. But there were aspects of their cash shop that were good. A lot of the items were cool. This is where the whole conversation started. They had some really cool emotes that you could purchase that were really neat. And they were limited time. So they would put them in there like really neat items for a very limited time. And I liked that about Elder Scrolls Online's cash shop, because once something went away, like it was gone. Warcraft, they were all cosmetic items for a time until it kind of got to the I mean, they're all cosmetic. I will say that, but they were very limited in scope. Their cash shop was not that big. Certainly exclusive items, and then where it went over is when they started selling things that you used to be able to earn in game for very, very difficult achievements. Like that one was like, what? That sucks. The one that I think probably does it the best is Guild Wars 2. I think they do it pretty dang good. There's some quality of life items in there, but for the most part, it's cosmetic items, but they also have that system where you can convert in-game gold to those gems and use those gems to purchase items in the cash shop. So it's an in-game currency or an out-of-game currency that was not your cash. So I did like the way, probably I would say the best system that's out there is Guild Wars 2, at least from the games that I've really played a lot of.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I just can't get on board with any of it. I can't get on board with these cash shops. I looked at games today specifically with the idea of I'm going to find a good cash shop that I can get behind. And man, it got worse and worse for me. The SWTOR model was very interesting because SWTOR was Warcraft when it came out, right? It was a sub model. You're going to sub to this game and we're all going to play it like Warcraft. And we were excited about that. And then in 9 months, EA got cold feet on the whole project and let go of everyone that we loved in the development team, and all hell broke loose. And they introduced this cash shop that said, okay, you can have this action bar, but if you want this second action bar, you're going to have to do X, Y, and Z and all this other stuff. And if you want all of the things that you used to have, then you can sub. But if you want some of these things, you can almost do it like a la carte. And even though the sub really was more or less the same, the introduction of this cash shop completely changed the game. It completely changed the experience for me. When I would open Windows up, it was just like, pardon me, when I would open the game up, Windows would pop up everywhere with all of this stuff. And they're always trying to sell me something. And it just drove me absolutely crazy. I just couldn't get into this kind of thing. And so I looked at that one. You know, some of the comments from people on this stuff, just as I was reading it, I'm like, oh man, you know, I'm not alone on this thing. Nomad Tam said the time and effort that's sunk into achieving something is what makes that player have the satisfaction when it's achieved. If the achievement is now purchasable or made easier, it completely invalidates any of the effort sunk. Not to mention that any of the content that was needed to be played through is essentially obsolete. That is, I mean, that rings true with a lot of these transitions. I looked at, oh my God, I was thinking about Star Citizen. I was thinking about Star Citizen today. We have lived an entire lifetime, I feel like, with the possibility of Star Citizen being a game. We grew up as children with Star Citizen as a possibility, and people were buying ships, you know, in the future hope that this ship would be in a game that they'd then be able to do. Now, is that pay to win to buy these kind of ships? I think it is, right? It has to be. If you're able to buy a bigger and better ship for real money, then how is that not pay to win? And I looked at Eve today, and holy cow, it's exactly that. They say it in no unspecific terms, bigger and better ships for this package.
Oof.
And on top of that, the whole game of Eve, I don't know if you've ever played Eve, but it's all about skills, okay? It's all about skills. Spinwords, our good friend Spinwords, told us a story just 2 days ago about how he remembers waking up in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. to update his skill advancement so that he wouldn't lose time on the whole thing. Whole game is about skill, and so it's this whole time thing. Well, you can speed that up for just the low price of God knows what. And that right there is pay to win. You know, it's an experience level boost, but in a game where the experience and level is the game, that's pay to win. So like you have a game that everyone talks extremely highly about with Eve and their economy and all of this stuff. And they have an absolute pay to win cash shop built right into it. Every game, no matter what I looked at for the cash shop, some of them did it better than others. Guild Wars 2 is a good example of them trying real hard on the thing. But Guild Wars 2 has got just crazy crap in their game, right? Their aesthetic sometimes goes completely insane to the point where like it's not a medieval type of game anymore. You have insanity going on, right? That's the kind of thing where you would find somebody flying an Ottoman or something like that. And that's available in the cash shop and only in the cash shop. And I just can't get down with that. I can't get down with that. As soon as you just keep squishing it down and squishing it down into, okay, now we're going to only have like the items that you can get in a slightly different color variant. Okay, we're going to do this, but it never stays that way. It's the same thing with the gold farmers. I know people are arguing in the chat about the gold farmers. I've not seen a game where they are able to eradicate gold farmers as effectively as that gold token thing. I get it. I totally get it. But like, it's not like games are just like, well, what are we going to do about gold farmers? And somebody in the back's like, we can't do anything. And they go, all right, well, let's not even bother trying. So everyone tries to do this stuff. And cash shops are kind of one of those things. It's like, well, how can we increase the bottom line? Well, we could throw a cosmetic cash shop in. It's a pretty good argument for how to do it. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to like it, right? It just doesn't. I'd rather they increase the sub price on me. So no game. I'm saying no game does it well.
Oh my God, you guys are both talking about increasing the sub price. Do me a favor with that. Shut up. Look, man, I totally get what you guys are saying, and it's fine. The goal here is to not force you to do anything. You are not being forced to even look at the cash shop. And I agree with you with the absolute barrage of stuff that SWTOR throws in your face, right? It's super annoying. That's like a game of Windows of a bunch of Windows things that just pops up in your face telling you about all these different things, and most of it's cash shop stuff, until you can minimize all that stuff and just play the damn game. I hate that, so I'm completely with you. But if the cash shop is there and your button, your particular little button that says cash shop or whatever gets dusty, then good on you for never looking at it, right? But you have a choice. That's my point. Why not put these things into the game that give the developers an additional mode of income? Even if it's just like just a little side thing for them, it's probably not going to make them as much money as the sub, but it's there for the people that want it. It's not giving them any advantage. It just gives them a different skin for their character. It gives them a different dye for their gear. That's how I feel about that. And I just want to reinforce it. The second thing is, I've now heard you both say, and don't get me wrong, I totally understand the 2004 thing as opposed to, the economy in 2004 was way different than it is in 2024. Jibs, I hate to tell you, but the value of Netflix has gone up. Look at what Netflix is providing you now from what it was providing you back in, whenever it was $9. I'm right there with you. I was super bummed when they said that, hey, we're increasing the price of Netflix $6. And when they did that, as dirty as that felt, I'm watching movies that Netflix is making now. It's no longer just like a service where they send you a DVD. Like, we're way past that. None of us probably even have DVD players anymore because they have progressed. They have evolved. They're making their own movies. So the value for what you're getting out of that $15 a month on all screens in your house is sick. And that's why I was okay with it. That digital TV is usually now how I watch TV. I don't even have DirecTV or any of these other services anymore. We just stream. That's all we do. So I was okay with that. On the same footing, would I pay $20 a month for an MMO that I wanted to play that was a sub? Yeah, I absolutely would. Things are definitely more expensive. Inflation's insane right now in the US. But it doesn't mean I want to. It doesn't mean I want to give them the idea to charge us $20. And here's the reason why. Despite the fact I would pay the $20 a month to play Ashes of Creation, I mean, we're a little freaking committed at this point, right? But I don't want Intrepid to be the first MMO out there to do that and have people just flame them because over that measly $5, Intrepid would get an insanely bad name for being $5 more per month than anybody else. I just think that's a bad pigeonhole to get into.
Do you think from like a PR standpoint more than like a realistic help the game standpoint?
It would definitely help the game. Zero doubt in my mind that an extra $5 a month from every sub that they pull in would help the game. And the dedicated folks out there that truly love what Ashes is making would pay that. I don't think they would have a problem paying that. And I fully understand, we fully understand that people have different financial situations. Like, we get that. I'm not trying to take that away by saying I like a cash shop. My personal situation is that I just don't spend a whole lot of money in other places. Like, gaming is my hobby. So I usually put aside a little bit of money to spend on extra stuff if I want to in the gaming realm to make me a happy guy. Hey, the guy wants a cloak. I want to buy a cloak. So I buy a cloak. But we fully understand that people have different financial situations. Would the extra $5 a month help them? Absolutely. But I don't want them to weigh that out over having the masses say, I'm not paying $20 a month for a stupid game. Like, there's no way. And have them be the first company out there that ever hit the $20 mark with a sub fee. I don't want that for them.
Sure. I understand that, and I get that too. Nomad Tam in chat says, in my opinion, sub is the only way. A sub fee incentivizes the company to build a world that people want to play in order to make money. A cash shop incentivizes the company to make cash shop stuff. That's taking up company time and resources that become not dedicated to the game itself. Sub is the only way and the most efficient. What would you say to that? Cash.
I want to say something to that.
Cash?
I
Okay,
want to say
Sonny.
something to
Yeah,
that.
go for it.
Because Nomad Tam took the words right out of my mouth. And here's the reason why. When you say, like, if your cash shop button gets dusty, then that's fine with you. The problem is this: when you introduce the cash shop and you have these things, the developers are actively taking time now to put things into the cash shop. Okay, it's not like they have this stuff lying around as like extra wood scraps after they built the table. Okay, like they have to build this stuff for the cash shop. And so now it is constantly a conversation for them where they're like, do we put this in the game or do we put this in the cash shop?
There.
Okay.
Right there.
That's all the time now. Okay. So at some point, some of those things are taken out of the conversation of put it in the game and they're put in the cash shop. And the only reason for that is because they know that they have to continue the cash shop. And the cash shop is a good financial source for them. Again, I get the financial source thing. Like, we can all agree. I don't think any single one of us will disagree that a cash shop is an excellent source of income for a game. And none of us wants this game to shut down. Now, none of us wants this game to turn into a SWTOR model either, where you have this insane cash shop in addition to a sub model. Like, that is just so poorly executed that I don't understand it. The second point with the sub fee, that, you know, you don't want to be Ashes to be the first game with a $20 sub fee. You know what? Like, Warcraft, when it came out, it set all sorts of records for how much it cost to play this game. But you know what else it did? It set all sorts of records for people that wanted to play the game because the game was really damn good. So I think it's fine if you can back it up. If you can back up this other stuff, look at all the things that Steven has done and said over the years, and he's like, you know what? I want to make the game that I want to make. I want to do this stuff. I don't care what you think about this. This is going to be in there. This is going to be in there. We're doing this. I'm not compromising. If he came out, which he won't, and said, like, you know what? I don't want a cash shop. I'm going to charge $25 a month for this game, and we're going to have zero cash shop. Okay? Zero cash shop, $25 a month. We're going to reduce the box fee to $30. Okay? That's it. You want to play this game? It's going to be the best damn MMO you've ever played in your life, and it's going to cost you $25 a month. I'd pay $25 and give it a run. And if I loved it, I'd pay $25 the next month, because you know what I'm going to be doing? I'm not going to be paying for any other games for a whole month, because that's all I'm going to do, is I'm going to play the hell out of the best MMO that's on the market.
Cash, how's your blood pressure right now?
El guapo. Could it be that you are upset about something else, but you're taking it out on me? Okay. I do have a response to that. The first point was the point that you made about taking development time away, and the time that it would take them to say what's going in the cash shop, what's not going in the cash shop. That is a very well thought out point. I have no retort to that at all, and I agree with that 100%. They are taking time away to do that. They will probably have an entire team dedicated to that very thing. So with that, like, that's the beginning and end of my comment on it. You're right. No retort. The second one is, it seems like you upped our $20 to 25, and now I'm freaking out a little bit. Okay. But again, you have a very good point. I still would pay the $25 a month to play the game if they were able to back it up. But herein lies the issue. You can't, I just don't think it's almost like the Netflix syndrome, where you launch the product at a certain price, and then 2 years later, because it's super successful and the game is just banging, now, sorry guys, we're going to raise it $5. What are they going to blame that on? That, like, the people will riot. Like, they will be so pissed about that. So because of that, you would have to start at that higher price point. And then my initial thoughts remain. They are the one, even though they can back it up, they are the first MMO to charge $5 more than all these other ones, including World of Warcraft, that over the years, and even still, has millions of subs. So I think it is a very, very slippery slope. Do I think they could get it from a good amount of players? Yup. $20 a month, I think, would be a price point that a lot of people would play, especially dorks like us and all of our chat. You're all dorks too, because we're all talking about and debating, very feverishly debating in chat, and I love it, about a game that's not out yet. We are the diehards. We will be the cornerstone of this community. So I have no doubt that we would all put the money into play. I just am super worried about them raising that price point up too high.
Chaffee J says in chat says
I love your points.
Chaffee J in chat says we were all ticked off when games moved to $70, but that hasn't stopped people from buying it.
It's true. And Chaffee J makes a general point about that, right? But who are you going to be mad at? You're going to be mad at all the game developers? You're going to be mad at EA, right? Like everybody's mad at EA.
That's always fair.
For every reason, right? Like you're always mad at EA.
Right.
But here's the thing. Like the Netflix is a good example. The Netflix showed you what they started at, $9.99, right? They had a service.
Yep.
And then they increased that price. And your response to this was, yes, well, hang on though. They increased what they were delivering. Their deliverables changed. You were getting a higher quality product, and hence it should be a higher price for the thing. So I don't understand like why you can have Netflix that moves into a different territory and everyone's like, yeah, it sucks, but you know what else? Netflix is awesome. So I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep going there. Is there a breaking point? There absolutely is. But if this game provides the quality, they can continue to move that field forward. If they start out, look at how it's gone with the Kickstarter, right? You get a certain amount of money and then they're like, oh, this is pretty good. What if we add a bunch of things? You think people would be interested in these things if we put them out in a pre-order bonus package? And it turns out, yeah. And so now all of a sudden you have like a much bigger thing. Your deliverables keep increasing. Well, the price might increase a little bit for that thing because it is a product that is continuing to move it forward. And frankly, if the price changed after like 4 or 5 years or 3 or 4 years or whatever, and it increased a little bit, like I'm just so used to everything increasing at this point in my life that it's probably going to be fine. If I'm enjoying the game, I'm going to go with it. I'm not ever thrilled that a price increases. But when you say that like they're going to riot, you think everyone's going to quit the game because the price goes up a little bit if the game's awesome? No, it has to be backed up by good gameplay. But people are going to be like, yeah, I don't love that. But you know what? It's a great experience. And I'm enjoying my time with it. And they'll find ways to justify that purchase. We all do.
I would still, if you even pay $7. I mean, I'm sorry to go right back at it, but $5 more, I get it. Especially, I'm seeing in chat, people, they're already subbed to one game, so it'd be a second game. And from a financial standpoint, I remember that. I remember when $15 a month was a stretch. 1,000%. I mean, like, I remember that legitimately. And so, like, the idea of paying for 2 MMOs is crazy. Truthfully, I would take a $17 a month, $2 more a month. I mean, I know that this is just inviting. I feel like this is just inviting bad juju on the on the monthly prices, but I still would. I really would, and I'm honestly shocked that of all the things that's never been touched, it's that. It's still the same dollar amount when everything else in the world seems as like it's moved on. That has not in 20 years. 20 years, over 20 years. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy, Tom.
It's like the Stonehenge of gaming.
Right. And
it
so
just will be forever.
Here's a question for you. Do you think that let's just say, hypothetically speaking, I know we've gotten away from cash shops, but this is a really good conversation. If they did, and folks, I do want to reiterate, don't we know that the sub price is going to be 15, or do we not know what the sub price is going to be? It's 15, right? We are not saying that their sub price is going up. This is just a hypothetical conversation here. But if Intrepid did make the decision to go with a higher price point, do you think that other MMOs would follow suit?
yes, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No question. Because at the end of the day, it always starts with one person. And it's not just pricing on things. It's content allowed in a show. Oh my gosh, did you see what they did? Mm-hmm. Maybe we could. Want to try that?
Did it work?
The first question is, did it work? They threw tea into the harbor. Maybe I should do the same.
So it always starts with one and the ball starts rolling. Absolutely. And I'm not like excited about this, but I'm just saying like absolutely they would. 1,000%. There's no question. Zero.
And if it was good, like if the game was good, like you can ignore a bad game that has a dumb price model, right? And it shows up, it falls down, it goes away, and everyone's gonna be like, well, they were charging this. Yeah, but their game sucked and they're out of business. So maybe we don't do that. So if the game is good and it continues on, then it absolutely resets the playing field. This is like baseball arbitration, right? You just look at your comparables. You look at what that pitcher got on his deal. How many years did he get? How many dollars guaranteed did he get? What's his, what's the rate per game going for nowadays? Somebody sets that mark and the next person has to go there. They never go below. The housing market goes up, it comes down, but it never goes back to where it was. It will always continue to go just a little bit higher than it was. Things are moving upwards. And as soon as Intrepid does something like that, that's what it is. That's what it is forever for the rest of the games in there. And let's not kid ourselves, okay? This is a nearly dead genre, all right? We are in the MMO genre at the worst possible time for MMOs. We are really hoping that this game does well. So like, who the hell is anyone else to say that Intrepid has a bad payment model if they bring MMOs back to the forefront?
That's
Sonny, you have a lot of great points. You're right there. With the MMO space, it's almost just like that guy at the bottom of the pit going, not dead yet. Just severely burned.
I'm not dead.
To wrap the whole thing back around to the cash shops, like I get your guys' point, and I think this is why a lot of this stuff takes place behind the scenes too, folks. When we're talking about show stuff or just talking about life in general, like we are very close friends that disagree on stuff, and this is just, I think, the first time that we've truly disagreed, like on camera, on stream, and on our show. And I love the conversation. I absolutely love this conversation. So I'm okay with your guys' points. I mean, super valid, excellent bullet points. You're not wrong in everything, and I like my points too. I just happen to have a different viewpoint on this particular item, and I just know that my character is going to be way more well-dressed than you a lot sooner. So there's that.
Okay, so
no, he's going to be wearing the same thing as me, just in a different color variation. Equitable color variation.
Equitable color variation.
So let me ask you guys this, and chat as well, to everyone who's here at the live show. We know no matter what, like all this bickering, ultimately we're getting a cash shop. We know that. We know it's cosmetic only. We know that. Mm-hmm. Okay. It has nothing to do with emotes in there. That was a topic of conversation last time. That's not happening. It's just cosmetics. Okay. So with that said, in your opinion, aside from what we have seen, the for sure things that are happening from Steve and Sharif, what are the things that you feel, and Cash, I'm going to you first. What are some of the things that you feel Intrepid could do to ensure that this cash shop is successful?
Cosmetic only, non-predatory, reasonable prices, no ESO trapdoors to where they're siphoning down your inventory unless you buy something, and have the items, better looking items, achievable in game, like the legendary items that they talk about. And please, like Sonny, I totally get your point, but no substyle tokens unless you can earn them from in-game currencies. Take an achievement system, Tie it to the things you're doing in game for some type of a currency that you can use to spend in the cash shop. I think with those things attached, they stand a way better chance. People who want to take part in a cash shop, that's fine, but there's still a way to earn those items within the game. And I think almost everything I just said, it's already stated that they're going to do those things with their cash shop. So I would say stay on that trajectory. Don't sway from that trajectory.
Sonny?
Yeah, I think the cash is pretty much dead on with this thing. I do want to clarify my opinion that the only thing that I hate more than the cash shop and the gold tokens thing is the gold farmers. Like, I hate the gold farmers more than anything. They are
Agreed.
the absolute tip of the spear of things I hate in MMOs, because it, one, takes me out of the game to see it. It, two, ruins economies. And three, I've seen it kill whole games when you have this kind of influx of bots and stuff like that. And I know that everyone says, there's all sorts of abilities to fight this kind of crap. Okay, fine. But this is one of the ways to fight them. All right. It may not be your favorite way, but it is definitely one of the ways to fight them. So that's just a point of clarification. I don't love that system, but I hate gold farmers. So you are right. The only thing that I would say that I would allow if you're going to do a cash shop is an XP increase boost once the game has been out for a while. Okay? Once the game has been out for a while, I would allow an XP boost, because sometimes in MMOs you have the problem where everyone that you want to play with has already been in the game for a long time and they're all max level. And you just don't get into a game unless you can have the incentive to get there and play with your friends. Okay. There's lots of different ways to solve this thing, but one of the ways to solve this is in a cash shop and put an XP boost. Okay. I'm fine with that. I am fine with that once the game's been out for a while. So that's okay. I'll add that one in there.
I just came up with an amazing idea. Amazing idea. Anybody who does gold spamming, AI is amazing nowadays. AI grabs it, notices it, and turns that player red.
Oh, huntable?
Free kill.
Bounty system?
Yeah. No corruption attached.
Bounty boards immediately.
I'm game.
Ooh, I like that.
I should be a dev.
But you know what, though? That'd get abused. And then that people would, they'd find something. And,
Would it be fun at the time?
It would be fun at the time. Oh, okay. So, yeah, great points all around. I think for me, it goes back to a comment that Sonny, you made a few episodes ago, and I don't really remember what it was we were talking about, but you said, stay true to the vision. That was one thing that was said. And I think for me, this is where I land with that, is stay true to your vision. I'm not a fan of the cash shop. However, it's going to be in the game. Stand true to your vision. The things in the cash shop are not as great as the things in the game. I think the moment that it becomes more than that, it's so deflating as a player from an experience standpoint. Like you're putting all that time into adventuring and really meaning something in a game where choices really matter, where risk versus reward really matters and really hits home. Make sure that the things in game are always better than the things looking in the cash shop, in my head. Also, prices. You both hit the nail on the head with prices. I mean, there's no bigger turnoff to any cash shop than a price that's just ridiculous. Then it's just like, what are we doing here? Like, I'm never going to buy that. And the people who do buy it are like, oh, you spent XYZ dollars for that, huh? Yep. And so, like, New World was a part of that. Absolutely. 100%. That was one of the issues with New World. And SWOTOR. You could argue with SWOTOR. And then I'll tell you what, their armors look great. The Mandalorian tie-ins, yeah, that was cool. But at the end of the day, stay true to your vision. Stay true to your vision, and more so than just a design decision, but stay true to your community vision as well. Because everything that you do in the cash shop will affect your community. Guaranteed. Whether it's they leave, it could be in that, I don't know the exact word, Sonny, maybe you could help with this. it's like third party. It's like a free marketing that you give to your friends based off your experience when you like move on. But
How come you went to him for it?
he's smarter than you.
Smart.
Yeah, he's smarter than you.
I mean, it's word of mouth advertising.
Word of
right?
mouth.
Like,
Thank you. See,
Yeah, I mean,
cashed
see, I
it.
got
You didn't even
Totally.
know. Look
Totally would have said that.
But anyway, that's just stay true to your vision. And I think that overall, like, this has been a great debate, and I know we'll probably visit something like this. I think now when you talk about gold farmers on an episode at some point, that should definitely be a thing. Chat was teeing off like crazy on this episode, but anyway, gentlemen, any final thoughts?
Support your local crafters, right? Like that's one of the things that the cash shop really can destroy. And you see it in some games. Is if the cash shop sells things that the crafters can't compete with because it just is better or looks better or anything, it kills crafting. This is an MMO. Crafting is an important part of MMOs, right? It's built right into the system, and the cash shop has a real ability to destroy that. So I say support your local crafters.
I say don't buy gold from gold farmers.
And on that, well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. This was a LoreForged podcast for Ashes of Creation. If you enjoyed your time here, let us know what you think, whether it's a comment on YouTube, which many of you watch, or whether it's on the RSS feed, on the podcast app, anywhere. Leave us a review. Tell us what you think. We sure do appreciate it. Plus, it lets other people know if this is a show that they may be interested in. You can always call us at 516-875-1776. And of course, you can always email us at loreforgedhq@gmail.com. Sonny.
This was a hot one, and I want you both to know that I still love you despite our heated conversation. But I fundamentally disagree with you with the first thing that you said in this show, which is that we don't often disagree. I think you will find that people like our show because we do often disagree on things, and we may not be as our blood pressure may not be as high as it was tonight on the average, but I would say that is one of the fun things for the show with me, is that I don't just have an echo chamber of everything that I think. So it is very nice to engage in these kind of conversations. You can find all of our stuff over at LoreForged.com, and that's going to give you links to all of our Ashes of Creation content, including YouTube, where we will be showing all sorts of stuff in the future. We have right now our Guild Reveal trailer, teaser trailer that's on there, and there will be more stuff as the Guild Reveal comes out. I'm sure we will post some of that stuff to YouTube. So that'll be a lot of fun in the next coming weeks. Twitch is growing like crazy, and we love it. We are big fans of this platform to deliver our media, and I know that I've been doing streams during the day, and I have had a blast meeting new members of the community, and then bringing them on board in our Discord, and it's just a good time. So feel free to check out whenever we're on. Go to twitch.tv/LoreForgedHQ and do that subscribe thing so that you can find out when we're doing it. We're not very consistent as far as times go, but we are on it quite a bit. So Patreon is the last thing, and that is where you can get all of our content early, including the after hours whatever State of the Owl, which is a more loose conversation between the three of us, kind of about just what's going on in life and what we're doing. So that's a lot of fun too. That is at patreon.com/LoreForgedHQ. In addition, you get access to the happy hour channel on Discord, and we do love the patrons very much. Cash.
Adventures. You can follow us on X, formerly Twitter, at LoreForgedHQ. You can follow us on our Instagram page at LoreForgedHQ. And speaking of growth, our Discord community is banging lately. I would like to welcome in new members: Snow Elf, Rack, Alivire. I'm terrible.
I'm wrong, Bergen.
Magolion, Dananor, Blastodon, Living the Dream, and Fantasy 4. Welcome to the Forge fam.
I like the name Blastodon.
That's a fun one.
That's a good
pretty
one.
Good. Dananor. There we go. Dananor.
Today, Junior.
Totally freaking nailed it. Today, Junior. Well done.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We love you. Stay safe. Be awesome to one another. And we will see you right here next week on LoreForged. Take care, everybody.
Peace, love, and honeybees.
Hey, Sonny. I'm going to be dressed way better than you are in Vera. Safe
not.
travels, adventures.
Just going to be in red.